Hey guys, Professor Bill, Comic Book University, and wow, latest episode of Agents of Shield, episode number 18 of season 4. No regrets. Yeah, that's the name of the episode, which is interesting because everything is supposed to be about a regret. You got rid of that one single isolated regret. It somehow worked in your favor, or so you'd think. Daisy makes a really good point about that. She mentions how, maybe people shouldn't get everything that they want because maybe it's not always good for them, Good point. Good point. And it's good because I will often think about what would life be if this, and that is the what if, the first episode of this third part of the season. Yeah. Wow, strange way to cut this pie. So we have the Patriot. Okay, and I guess I didn't really think about it too much last episode or the one prior. He is actually an Inhuman in this episode, in this framework, which is cool. Like, he doesn't juice up. That was actually what Agent May wound up doing, just right in the neck. But she was the juicer in this particular one, and he was an actual true to life Inhuman. That was cool. I guess in some ways that was his one regret. That he wasn't an Inhuman, and he seemed to want to be. He was posing as one or whatever, and he wishes he had that strength and that invulnerability all the time. So I'm going to assume that was his regret. We'll never know now because he actually died, and that's a shame. That's a real shame. But it's funny how that act of heroism and the idea of kids dying or being in jeopardy, that's what woke Agent May up by the end of the episode. I'm going to have to assume that she, is going to go and join up with S.H.I.E.L.D. Maybe she'll stay and do whatever. We're going to get to that at the very end, even though I'm very pleased at what happened there. But, hey, viewers, you were right when you said that Fitz was indeed that one regret. I was thinking of it. You guys brought up points that I never even considered, all right, about how, him not meeting his father. So in this, his father is a huge part of his life, and he's a hugely negative influence in his life, that's sick, man. It's funny, because I'm going to tell you, if you're a male viewer, you already know this. If you're a female viewer, you might not know this, but I want you to think about this. If there's one way that you want to make your man cry, okay? That one almost surefire guaranteed way to do it is to have him watch a movie like Raging Bull, okay? Or to have him watch some kind of a movie where the father sacrifices himself for the sake of his son, or the disapproving father who all of a sudden says, you made me proud. Because even if you had a good father in your life as a guy, even if you had a good father, a great father, the greatest father, father of the year, 2 years running, there's still always going to be that sense that a guy needs to prove himself to his father. And that will shake a man's confidence, that will shake a man to his core if his father doesn't have or doesn't give that love that he has. I know this is Comic Book University, baby. It's not just about comic books. It's a whole psych class. It's every course you need, 101 to graduation, doctorates. But seriously, a guy who maybe isn't very confident, you can tell that he had some father issues, and you could always bring it down and call it daddy issues, but that's a mocking way of saying it. But real talk, you could say just about anything. I'm going to give you an example, all right? And there may be some controversy with this in some way, some small regard, but it was put to me best, not even in a psych class, just by a really old Indian doctor, a medical doctor, and he says, it's funny because a mother's love is what was the exact word? Basically just it's uncompromising, you know what I'm saying? But a father's unconditional, that was the word he used. A mother's love is unconditional, but a father's love is conditional. Okay, now a father will, unless he's not human, I don't mean inhuman, a scumbag, is going to love his kids, but yeah, even women, right? A lot of confidence issues come from the father, right? Or not just confidence issues, but actually being confident in yourself. What kind of man you're going to choose when you get older. What kind of mate, perhaps, you'll choose when you get older. Whatever. But the idea is that a lot of that comes from the father. So because he's supposed to be like the source of confidence in the traditional family home. You know what I'm saying? And that's whatever. Don't read into anything. But yeah, a father's love is conditional. He should always technically love the kid unless there is something wrong with him psychosis-wise, but for the most part, he will not give that love unless you make him proud, unless you've earned it, so to speak. He'll set a threshold. I will give a hug if he gets to this. You know what I'm saying? Something along those lines. I'll say I'm proud of you. That's like the biggest thing, So yeah, to see how unconfident Fitz always was, and then all of a sudden in this one he's very confident, but he's also an evil SOB. So it's not always good for you. Daisy said it best, So I think that the psychology of this episode and that particular the treatment of that particular moment was really just on par. It was so good. So good. All right, getting way into, that's what I do. Sometimes I overanalyze stuff like that. I loved it. But yeah, so that one that one comment where he says, Dr. Radcliffe, he says, one sentence could change you. All right. First off, Radcliffe getting a butt whooping like crazy in the next room. Those walls, man, paper thin. Paper thin for metal? What kind of metal is that? They just hear right through it, no problem. Hey, what's going on? Nothing. I wasn't talking to you. You don't have to shout. That's funny. To me, that's funny. But yeah, just what do you call it? When he says one sentence can change you, that was a really good part. That was a really good part. Also, I wonder if he told I imagine he told the truth of how to get out. Maybe the way to get out is, I don't know. Honestly, I don't know. I was going to say maybe kill yourself in there to prove, like Vanilla Sky, if you ever seen that, or the original. What was the original called? Eyes Wide Shut? No. Something with eyes, I think. Anyways, both brilliant movies. My opinion, brilliant movies. The idea that the leader of Penelope Cruz was the only person who played the same role in both. That you had to jump off of the building for him to actually wake up. I thought that was great. Oh, spoilers for a 20-year-old movie, 20 plus. Anyway, I was just thinking about Gore was right. What Nick Fury in the comic books said to Thor to make him unworthy so he couldn't lift Mjolnir anymore. But I don't know what kind of man I would be without you, is what Fitz said to his father. We know. So then we go right into my absolute favorite part, my freak out. I wasn't, recording any reaction or anything like that. I didn't expect this episode to actually do anything, and just whatever. Plus, I was tired. This scene woke me up. I got to see Trip. Trip came back. I'm always tired when I'm watching these because I got kids and I got, life. But I forget, I don't want to go back and watch the entire thing. Maybe I will. I don't remember if I actually mentioned last time that I would love to see Trip back. I think I did, though. I know I definitely wanted to touch on that. I was really hoping Trip would come back. And he did. When he came out that cage and gave, the Patriot, Director Mace, that big hug, he turned around like, oh my God, it's Trip. I tripped out because that was just great. I jumped up in my seat and everything. Yeah, I'm a nerd. Shut up. So, one thing that bugged me is when Ward was on the radio. He's like, it was with his left hand. He's like, okay, over and out. No, as a 6-year Army vet, no, you do not say over and out. Okay, over means I'm finished talking. Now you may talk. Out means okay, it's time to end this conversation. So over and out is like, okay, your turn to talk, but you're talking to yourself. No, nobody in the military or S.H.I.E.L.D., anybody like that would say over and out. So wrong answer, writers. You hired the frickin' shrink. I think maybe, for this episode, I think maybe you should have also hired a military advisor. Anyway, over and out. Oh, God, I hate that. Kids is what... Oh, yeah, kids is what wakes up May. That's what I wound up getting to at one point. I thought that was a very, very good episode. And then the point that I said, put a pin in it. May walking in. So you're actually an Inhuman? Yeah, on the outside I really am. boy, I hope so. When she gets the Terrigen and just throws it. That was a pretty big Terrigen crystal. Okay, that was a pretty big Terrigen crystal. For her to throw that, I think she would have gotten affected too. And Trip was in this episode. We know what happens when non-Inhumans, tongue twister, because it completely defies English grammar, sentence structure. But a non-Inhuman, it comes in contact with Terrigen Mist, you die. And yeah, so, it's so bittersweet. I remember I did mention a couple episodes ago, which would have been more than a month ago, so about 2 months ago or more, that I do believe that the framework is basically going to be in the future like a form of heaven. And if that's the case, that sucks because you can't really leave heaven, So we got to see that the Patriot died. He sacrificed himself. It's funny. Maybe in some ways that was his regret. You know what I'm saying? Because, I don't know, he changed and he got to actually be the real leader, and I guess he just felt like if I were a real Inhuman, I would have everything I need to actually be a good leader, instead of being a fake all the time. I wish I was a real Inhuman. Maybe that was his one regret. Maybe his regret was that he didn't really sacrifice himself for that one kid, and that the whatever that incident was where it's he tried to jump out the way. And the way that the camera took the picture and its location, it looked as if he was trying to jump in front of the kid to shield the kid. So, yeah, maybe that was his regret. Either way, it was freaking awesome. And it was sad. It was genuinely sad that Trip went down. Trip went down. No, don't kill Trip again. That's the bittersweet part of Trip being back. He can't leave. You know what I'm saying? He can't leave. But now the Patriot's gone because if you die in the Matrix framework, you die in real life. Yeah, just really bittersweet. But we get to see that Daisy will now be a mutant. Marvel doesn't do that anymore. She will be an Inhuman inside the framework again. So I'm very, very excited to see what's about to happen. The episodes, I don't know that they're necessarily getting better. They're different. They really are taking us on a different trip. And they're going to have to keep the framework some way, somehow. They're going to have to keep the framework. You know what I'm saying? I like the idea that, because too many people would die, who are there. Because the idea that... the idea that... what's her name? Gemma, we kept on saying, it's not real. None of this is real. None of you are real. But, yeah. Yeah, she kind of sees that it is real. It is real. And you know what? Seriously, you look back at the second Matrix movie, all right? I liked it. Bite me if you don't. But I did like it. I genuinely did. It wasn't as good as the first one, but it was great in its own way. That the story that it told further, that there are programs who want to escape from the regular, framework, I guess you could say, and just do their own things. They don't want to follow their purpose anymore. They want to find their own purpose, their own karma, their own dharma, So I really like that idea that that's what they're kind of doing in here also. They're on their own. They are their own lives, inside of here. So I like the idea that what's his name, Mac, can always come back to visit his daughter. I really hope they don't try and pull something where, it's not really you, Sparkplug. That would suck. And honestly, you know what? Honestly, one little thing like that would actually be enough to probably make me say, I'm done with this show. As much as I love the show, something dumb like that could potentially actually make, depending on how they do it, I could just wind up saying, no, sorry, I've lost my suspension of disbelief, and I fully do not believe in this show anymore. I'm done. Because that would suck. That would actually stink. But, yeah, I think that they're going to have to keep the framework modified a little bit. And, again, like I said, maybe LMDs can, break, if they can make an LMD of Trip, what's wrong with that? What's wrong with that, And then just leave Ward in charge of... Because do we really want Ward back in the real world? It's great having him here now. It really is. And you know what? Honestly, guys, when you comment, do you want Ward back in the real world? As much as I love Ward, good guy or a bad guy, and I really like him right now. It's so reminiscent of season 1, where he was the hero. Where here's one where everybody's like, dude, he's the man. He's the man. So, would you like to see Ward actually come back into the regular world, the real world? Also, I'm wondering, what happened to the Avengers in this world? Were they all killed? That's really weird, man. So, I don't know. Anyway, guys, very fun episode. Hope you guys enjoyed it. What is this, about 16 minutes now? All right, I'm going to sign out. Love, peace, hair grease, all that good stuff. It's been real, it's been fun, just hasn't been real fun. No, I'm joking. It's been a whole lot of fun. All right, guys, Professor Bill, Comic Book University. Class dismissed.